74% of business owners and businesses don't have enough content in the real wide world for consumers to be able to know, like, and trust you. In a recent Google study, it has been proven that consumers are spending 11 hours learning about problems, solutions, brands, businesses, and whether you are the right individual to solve those problems for them. In this episode, if you follow the steps that I'm going to lay out for you in a moment, you're going to be able to become a content marketing machine. Content marketing is really easy. You just need a process and a system to follow, which is what we'll dive into now. My second Amazon best-selling book is called The Lead Generation Guide. If you haven't got your copy, then make sure you click the link in the show notes right now to go and grab your free copy, because the principles in that book are what we are diving into right now. Number one is clarity. Now, we're talking who you are talking to. It's a specific problem, person, or product. You have to pick one of those three, because in the online world, you need to become an expert in that particular area. Identify who it is or what it is that you are most knowledgeable at and what you can provide for people. So in my mortgage brokerage, we are the specialists in self-employed business owner mortgages, helping people to buy, refinance, and invest in property. My first book is called The Self-Employed Mortgage Guide. So I am able to build my authority and credibility above anybody else in that industry, in that niche. In my other business, what you're watching now, my training and consulting company, which I've been doing since 2019, because of my expertise from 20 years in financial services and releasing my book and becoming a social media influencer in the mortgage space, my industry started asking me for help. And what we do in that business is helping advisors and financial services business owners to automate systems, to gain quality clients, and to achieve predictable sales. That is another niche based on industry. I love an industry-based niche. But if you're in financial services, you may pick buy-to-let, bridging loans, commercial finance. You may go after insurance. You may pick mums who have recently got divorced. That is all niches. You need to focus on talking to one person. The second thing you have to do, now we know who we are specifically talking to, is create content for them specifically. And you do that through problem-based content. If you go back to an episode that I did only a couple of weeks ago, I talked to you all about knowing the 20 problems that your ideal clients have. Now, this is going to be a slightly deeper dive. In order to attract people, you have to talk about problems. When I look at clients or businesses online, they focus too much on the solution. They focus too much on themselves and how they're solving the problem. The problem is that's a small percentage of the market. If you want to open up your world to more people, you have to have 11 hours worth of content based on that Google data, focused mostly on problems, mostly on fears, mostly on frustrations. What upsets your client? What keeps them awake at night? Now, here's the number one hack, which I love to share with people. Every question that a person asks is a problem. How much deposit do I need? Can I get a mortgage with 1 year's accounts? How do I handle inconsistent overtime when it comes to mortgage affordability? I haven't got a deposit. Should I buy in a buy-to-let limited company, or should I buy the property personally? There's a mountain of them when it comes to mortgage advising. In our training business, I know that the core three problems that people always come back to me with are poor systems and processes, a lack of constant leads, inconsistent sales, which hinders cash flow, which has a fear and a frustration of, will I need to go back and get a job? Is it going to impact the lifestyle that I'm currently living? This is what we need to talk about when it comes to resonating with our ideal audience. Maybe some of those things that I've just referenced about process, lifestyle, going back to a job, inconsistent sales, maybe they resonate. We know how to help you solve them, but we don't talk about how we solve them. We need to talk about initially how we understand where that person is versus where they want to be. Note down the 20 problems that your client or your prospect or your niche is experiencing. The third thing is now picking the right channel. I used to believe that you had to be on every single channel all of the time. My first 3 years of social media experience in 2016 till 2019 was purely using Facebook. I didn't use Instagram, didn't use TikTok, didn't use LinkedIn, didn't do podcasts. But as my business grew and the opportunity came of having more team, we started to put our message in more places. But here's the thing. Now, on reflection, and in the current market and in the current climate, there's so many people doing content marketing online. It's stressful, it's overwhelming, it will cause you anxiety if you try and be in all places at all the time. So pick one niche, talk about the problems, and use one specific channel. And I would urge you, within picking that channel, even LinkedIn now have moved more towards video. Video for the last few years has been constantly growing. YouTube is catching up with TV. Watch time is increasing. You know, my children, all under 12, they watch YouTube Shorts consistently. The age demographics, people are spending more time on video. Now, we make this episode for both YouTube and also for podcast. I never watch a YouTube video. I am somebody who listens to the audio. But when it comes to short form content, I will watch video. So there are different preferences based on the type of client that you want to attract. And I would urge you, rather than getting frustrated, overwhelmed and fearful, to pick one video channel. And I wouldn't even worry about, as we used to talk about, yes, TikTok's going to be the main one, so we might as well shove it on Instagram. Forget about that, because the algorithms on every single channel are entirely different. We focus mostly on advisors and financial services through Facebook. It's where I have a Facebook group of thousands of people in the industry, and it's where we can build better relationships. On other channels like this, we do broader based content. Whilst it applies to financial services, I have a huge audience in the property space because of my mortgage brokerage. But if you're somebody who hasn't got a social media manager standing behind the camera, a video editor behind them, then you need to focus purely on one channel, and you will get way more leads, way more results, and way more outcomes. Now we know those three things, we can dive into how to create content. Now, I didn't have anyone else helping me with content from January 2016 until the June of 2016, when I brought in my first social media assistant, executive, whatever you want to call them. And I would urge you, as quickly as you possibly can in your business, to get somebody with a video editing skill. Because if they have video editing skill, that can lead into other areas of creating content. We now have AI making life so much easier. You can transcribe the audio from your videos to write your captions for you. Like, it's insane how much time saving can be done now compared to when I started in 2016. But here's how you create content if you are a solo individual or just starting out, or even someone with a big business that has never done content marketing before. First thing you need to do is pick pre-validated content. Every piece of content that you can ever imagine has already been done. So there's no point in trying to reinvent the wheel. Go to social media channel that you're going to focus on, look at reels, look at hashtags, and find the most viewed videos. Or if you're on LinkedIn, look at the most engaged posts, the ones with the likes, the ones with the comments. Now take that, don't copy and paste it, but understand the concept and the message and the problem behind that post and why it did well, and recreate it in your own way. So therefore it's unique to you, because you and I are different. We could have the same hook, the same piece of content, but we'll sound and we'll look entirely different in our delivery. Pre-validated content is the only way that we create content. Forget fancy equipment. We are using a Sony camera right now to record this, and we're using sexy mics to do the audio. But you can get exceptionally good content with just your iPhone. Yes, you want one of the latest versions. Yes, you need to record it in 4K and at least 30 frames. And I would recommend that you buy a £10 mic off of Amazon that you can shove in to give you something like this that gives you good quality audio. But all you need to do is keep it authentic. Oh shit, where's my phone? Just grab your phone, talk to it, and have a conversation imagining that your phone is a person. That's all I did in 2016 to get started. Even when I brought Izzy into the business, she would hold the phone and I would just look above the phone at her and talk to her, knowing that the camera was capturing the messaging that we were sharing. This is actually really powerful, and some of the best accounts on Instagram don't even use a camera. They're all just on a stand or using a mic and talking directly to phones. One of the most important things with video-based content is making sure that you deliver single sentences as much as you possibly can. Use regular pauses, because in the post-editing process, you can shrink those down. From running over there, I'm really out of breath. It's really important that you look at the lens of the camera, and if you're doing it on your phone, don't look at yourself, because all of a sudden you're looking not at the person and it looks really weird. You look a bit boss-eyed. You know, you don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. You want your eye level to be roughly at the middle of the camera. If you're doing any of this sexy kind of zoom in zoom out stuff, then you want to make sure that your eye line remains in exactly the same place. These are just things that I've seen from watching people who talk about video editing on Instagram. I've never edited a video like my team do in my life. But if I need to remove a filler word, or if I need to think and pause for a really long time, then I'll use something like CapCut to basically shrink that pause down. CapCut is the thing that you can use on your phone. My team use it constantly. You can add captions, you can add background audio, you can do the zoom in, you can do the zoom out. You need to focus on content marketing and getting your message out there if you want to drive more leads into your business. You need to be putting quality content out, but authentic content out that you can just record on your phone that answers problems for your clients. When you do it on a consistent basis, you'll build your brand trust, you'll build your reputation, and you will begin to drive more leads and more conversations. The final piece of the puzzle when it comes to creating content and taking your pre-validated ideas and making real content is we always come up with what's the hook first. What's going to stop the scroll in the feed? What's going to then link in is the title of that specific video. So we go hook, title, and understand, does this talk about a problem or a pain for our clients? And then we will work out the bullet points that we need to talk about in that video. And here's the bullet points for this video. We've done exactly the same thing, just dotted it all down. This has been edited in the exact way that I have just spoken to you about, where we have used pauses, we have used breaks, and if you watch it on YouTube, you'll see me running around the room, grabbing my phone and various other little bits. So off the back of listening to this and watching this, I hope you're not going to be one of the 74% of people that aren't creating content. If this really is a challenge for you and you don't know how to get started, if you're lacking quality leads, if you haven't got enough booked calls in your diary and it's impacting your life, your cash flow, you've got fear, anxiety, frustration about where your next pound is coming from, you're feeling like you're not succeeding as well as you possibly could in your business, you've taken time to be really good at your job, but you've not learned marketing and business, then this is your opportunity to reach out to me on any social media channel, because we have programs, courses, and coaching that we can help you to overcome these hurdles. And many of our clients will add at least £5,000 per month when they follow our systems and repetitive process in at least 3 months. We'd love to help you take your business to the next level. If that's of interest, then just get in contact. But you need to make sure that you come back and watch and listen to next week's episode, where I'm going to talk to you about how you can take this awesome content that you create that starts getting loads of engagement and remove that from the social media channels or from podcasts and YouTube and get it into leads that actually book appointment. Thank you very much indeed. See you next week.